I thought these guys were playing a joke on me, but they weren't. I just did something silly. Hey, everybody, I am the real Josh T, and welcome to another episode of Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions, hosted by your boys at J&J Tabletop on Rare Drop Roleplay. Um, hey, something looks weird here.
What?
I don't know how you got there, but
I just wanted to get closer.
uh,
Is that bad?
it's not good.
Oh. That's probably something you should have told me before we went live.
Probably.
Yeah.
Here we are. You walked over to my square from your square, and I can't get you
Yeah.
to leave.
Oh
I am
man,
obnoxious. You will see just how hard that is to do. Yeah.
I really really wish that we recorded a video of Jake walking out of his square and into yours, like past your chair and everything, and sitting down, because
It was
that is
impressive.
just a missed opportunity. But
It's it recharges on a long rest though, so you're not going to be able to see it today. Like, you know.
right.
Yeah. That's humor.
Jake is back here on Long Island recording in the Expo studio, and we're super excited to have him here. And everybody, it's so nice to see you all your wonderful little chat bubbles, and all your wonderful faces in Discord. With me this week, it's the same people as every week. We have the Mad Thinker, we have John from Blue Dragon RPG, and we have Alco from Hit. Oh, wait a second. What? No, that's not right. We have Evan at It's Evbo, Jake J and Jake underscore Izzee, and we have Michael who is MSTR Yoda underscore I underscore am, and I'm just excited to be here, guys. It's just wonderful that it's Sunday here and now. So anybody have anything you want to mention before we get started? Any little fun things you want to shout out? No, nope, nothing at all. All right, okay, all right. So you heard me mention our socials, but if you didn't have enough time to write it down, don't worry because they're all going to be flashing on the screen right under our faces this whole time. Except Jake walked away from his square, so his will be to the right of where he actually is. So, but anyway, you heard me say this is J&J Tabletop. What is J&J Tabletop? Well, J&J Tabletop is a little thing that Jake and I do every week where we record some videos and we throw them on the YouTube, and sometimes we stream some things. And stay tuned because if you're a fan of Mass Effect and watching people enjoy things, then maybe you should check out the little Twitch thing, because maybe that'll happen there sometime. I don't know, but we record videos every week about D&D and tabletop RPGs and how to play them and all sorts of other fun stuff like that. So if you are interested in some ideas for your games or just how to play the game in general, or if you just want to hear me and Jake tell jokes that Evan's not able to run away from now, then you should give us a follow. It's twitch.tv/JNJ Tabletop, youtube.com/JNJ Tabletop. Everything's J&J Tabletop. Just do command J&J, exclamation point J&J in chat, and you'll see all the things. Rare Drop Roleplay has a new YouTube channel. If you didn't hear about that already, then just head on over to YouTube and type in Rare Drop Roleplay, and then check us out there. You'll be able to see some past videos, and up to a certain point. Not all of them are on there. The rest of them are on the Spotify, and hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be able to see all the old videos and all of our silly faces 6 months younger, and yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to see that soon. Jake, you did a video last week.
Yeah, I did.
What video did you do last week? It was a solo.
Okay, so if you're familiar with our stuff on J&J, we've done the Dragon of Icespire Peak. We did a playthrough. It was actually the very first videos we ever recorded. Actually, the very first episode. I had some fun rendering things, but the audio is good on YouTube. The rest of the series is good. Anyways, I was the DM for that, and I got to learn a few things from that adventure, and it's a really fun adventure. And so what I did for this last week was specifically Dungeon Master tips for running the Umbrage Hill adventure. And not to toot my own horn, but toot. It's a good one. You should watch it. Yeah. Back
The
to you,
Umber
Josh.
Chill adventure, or the
Yeah.
or the video of you explaining how to do the Umber Chill adventure?
All of it. I was specifically talking about the one we did this week, but the Umber Chill adventure was the very first play we did, and that was, well, as far as the gameplay, it's good. The audio's good. The video isn't. That was my bad.
That was before we learned how to test before we actually did things.
Testing is very valuable. I'll just say
Like,
that.
Hey, you guys want to record 4 hours of content and then not check it until after it's after?
Pretty much.
There's good stuff on there though. Definitely check that out.
But another fun fact, it was Michael's very first adventure ever for D&D.
Yes.
So
First time
you
playing.
want to see Michael struggle through not laughing when he did his character's voice for the first time. I think he was like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Back in Fandalen.
Yep.
Fandalen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it
That
was a
was
great
a fun time.
adventure, and it's a little help would have helped me as a DM going through it and paying a little more attention to a couple of details, which that's what the video we did this week was all about. So.
Yeah, so if you are currently running Dragon of Ice Fire Peak, or you plan on running Dragon of Ice Fire Peak, definitely check that out. So we have a lesson today, and that lesson is actually from another solo video that Mr. Jacob. Oh, I can't call you Mr. Jacoby anymore, can I?
I mean, you can.
Can I? Is that all right?
I give you permission.
When
Always ask for consent.
a long time ago, a friend at church got up on stage, and his name was Marty, and he said that he wanted to be called Martin now because he's an adult, and he would get offended if you called him Marty. So that's why I need to shirk it, because you're not Jacoby anymore. You're Jay and Jake. So
I am on Steam still. It's okay.
Hey, Jake, what's the lesson for today?
Okay. So a few weeks ago, I did a short about self-improvement and how that actually can relate to your skills as a dungeon master, really anybody that's playing D&D. So Dungeons and Dragons, just like anything in life, whether you're on the job, whether you're, having a relationship with a significant other, family member, doesn't matter. Things like having good listening skills is going to lead to better D&D and better life. So focus on trying to hear what someone's trying to tell you, whether or not they're good at speaking or expressing themselves. Try to read between the lines, listen to them, hear another human being. Also, kindness, that goes a long way. Right? I mean, just how much better would the world be if everybody was just like 5% more kind? I would say at least 5% better. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay. Also,
I think the math checks out.
Right? At least 5%. But yeah, and just along those lines, respecting people's boundaries and things that they may or may not be uncomfortable with, and learning how to navigate situations and protect your friends and protect people, even if you don't necessarily like them. Do the right thing, protect them, and treat them with respect, even if you dare I say it, disagree with their point of view. Respect is a very good thing, and it translates to so many things, whether it's, like I said, on the job or playing Dungeons and Dragons.
How could I possibly respect someone if they have a different point of view?
You can acknowledge that that's the way they see it. That's step one. I acknowledge that you asked me that question, Josh. Anyways, differing points of view are very common these days. The next thing I would say for DMs specifically is knowing how to enforce boundaries, but when that's appropriate. And sometimes you always hear people say when it comes to like improv and D&D, like say yes and always say yes to your players. Well, sometimes you have to say no. Like, just know how to do that. Working on those skills is going to help you there. And then, last but not least, I I feel like patience and humility is not something that this world is used to looking at as a good thing. I feel like just as life gets crazy and the calendar keeps passing day after day, year after year, you know, being humble doesn't necessarily mean like you're like a doormat or, you know, just think you suck all the time or anything like that, but just the opposite of being prideful. Like, you might be wrong. How often do you actually take that into consideration in your daily life? People get passionate. That's fine. You can be both passionate and humble at the same time. That works at D&D and in life, at home, on the job, all the things. Try to add these things to your skill set, and you're going to notice your D&D games are going to be better. I know it's, am I getting on my soapbox a little bit? I think maybe slightly. But either way, self-improvement is going to factor into everything you do. So do it.
I think it's a worthy topic to be on the soapbox about. Just
Yeah. It's a tricky time, right? It's a lot of transitions happen. And kindness, respect, humility, patience. I think we could use all of it. we'll just leave it
Agreed.
at that.
Agreed.
But yeah,
Yes.
we do have a video for it, but because everything is new and I'm not in my normal routine, you have to go to youtube.com/J&J Tabletop to find it. And just keep clicking on videos until you find the one.
You could do that. You could also just click on this here link.
But now the podcast knows where to where to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
Hello.
back to you, Josh.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake. And the only other thing I will mention before we recap is please make sure that you are clipping all of your favorite moments. Anything that you think is funny or cool or emotional or like whatever, clip that. Because one, it's cool for us to see what you guys like, and then also it helps for all of the things, and you know, you can post them in our Discord, we can talk about it and make jokes and whatever. Yes, Resort in chat says that Echo can now punch Vale in person. It's like 4D. It's like when I saw the Rugrats movie in theaters and they had the scratch and sniff thing that you had to do at the specific time, you know?
Resort and don't give them
Like that.
ideas.
Yeah,
Come on.
there's a real stink coming off this man.
What are you guys
Thank you,
drinking
cheese.
tonight?
It's a clear liquid. You guys can decide what that means.
Jake died.
Big glass.
Big,
of clear liquid.
big glass.
It's refreshing and cool. Anything could be in that mug.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Well, we'll just let you guys wonder in chat.
Very
So.
big.
Without further ado, last week on Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions, we followed our group of adventurers as they finished taking their rest with Owen at his cabin. They celebrated their day of remembrance, and after getting some very nice weapons, they moved on and started making their way to Bice's Teal. As they continued on, trying to find this boat that Owen let them use, they ran into Vale's brother, Carrick. They spoke to Carrick for a little bit and found out that Carrick also had come from Mollesmere. And Carrick also ran into the Empire. And the people that he ran into, they killed half his squad, half his group, and vanished. So Carrick was heading back to Uthadern with his old pal Teddy. And after chatting for a little bit and really considering and thinking about what's going on, you decided to head back with them and potentially take some sort of teleportation circle back to Bice's Teal. On the way back, for the most part, it was smooth sailing until you ran into a group of goblins, which also I would still say is smooth sailing as you kind of steamrolled right through them and continued on. And as you continued through the mountainside, you saw various sets of watchtowers and a large gate. As you approach the gate of Uthadern. Vale, what does it feel like coming up to that gate, your home city, where imagine it's been quite some time since you left?
Yeah, I think so too. I think Vale probably was there. I think he would visit as often as he feels like he can tolerate. So I think this moment's a little bittersweet for him. I feel like with all the extra circumstances with our visit right now, I think he's actually kind of anxious. Especially everything that he heard potentially that could be going on with his sister. I know that's not confirmed, but I don't think he fully expected her to just leave. To just leave like that. So, yeah, I think he probably just takes in a deep breath and then just looks at Carrick to see if he's headed somewhere particularly or, anything like that. And I would think the others, Melly, Echo, and Mac would probably be able to feel that he's a little uneasy. His body language is probably also slightly more passive in Carrick's presence than they're used to him, just the tiny little things that family dynamics can do.
Eric kind of gets a little bit of a smile on his face, and he slaps you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Says, "It's good to be home, isn't it, brother?"
Vale would just take in a breath and, yes, it is. Where should we go first?
First, we should go through the gate. and Carrick will,
Your wisdom is legendary.
Carrick will...
I can see the family resemblance in the humor.
He just kind of smiles at you. Just kind of looks at you and smiles. That's it.
Yeah, Vale shrugs.
I give him a little nod.
Yeah.
And he'll just he'll just say, "Open the gate." And you see over the edge of a watchtower, a big head with a bearded face just kind of peeks over. He's like, "Ah, Carrick, is that you? All right, one moment." And after a few moments pass, you see the gate begins to open wide. And as this gate opens, you see a kind of busy area, even though it is still getting kind of right around nighttime. But you do see a little bit of a busy area with just some cattle moving around. There are these goats that are 8 feet tall, massive goats that people are kind of hurting, and there's armored, uniformed people carrying weapons that, if you look closely, they look kind of like they're wearing the same type gear as Carrick and Teddy. Um, Probably glass blades popping around, keeping watch over the gate, and doing something with this crazy looking livestock. But forward past all that, there's this large, like almost gazebo looking thing. It's got this cover and railing, and as you get kind of closer to that, you see this large spiral staircase going down. And I don't think any of you guys had been to Uthadurn aside from Vale, but Vale would know that to be the way down to Uthadurn, as Uthadurn is kind of built into the mountain, a little underground.
Yeah, I guess we would just head down, I think, or at least follow Carrick's lead.
Sure. Yeah, Carrick would just kind of continue on forward, and he'll just say to you as you're walking, so, brother, should we... Do you want to go straight to the barracks and give your report, or should we... Do you all need to spend the night to your rest? Would you like to see mother and father?
Well, I should probably say hello. And Josh, you said it's nighttime? Like, is it late at night, or?
It's I mean, it's been dark for a little bit as you guys kind of like you left.
Mhm.
It's kind of dark. Like you could have rested at the end of last session, we'll say, but you went a couple more hours just to get there, and it's nighttime.
Yes, let's see mother and father, and get a night's sleep.
Right, perfect.
And at that moment, I kind of raise my eyebrow, and you want to spend the night here?
Val just kind of like looks at Mac. He tries to. I'm assuming Mac was following, so he turns his back to Carrick. His eyes just kind of go like a little big, and he kind of slightly shrugs. I just thought perhaps I should say hello. Vale's eyes look at Melly and Echo.
I don't know what choice we have.
I mean, if
that makes you uncomfortable, perhaps we should find a room at a tavern.
No, I more meant spending the night in Uthadurn in general.
Oh.
Not actually whether or not visiting your parents or anything like that. That's not. I more have just thought we were possibly coming here to go to the teleportation circle. I didn't know we were staying here for a day or two.
Yeah. Josh, would Vale know of... I know he knows of the teleportation circle at the barracks or with the glass blades, but are there others?
That you know of? I mean, there's probably one in like the Capitol like building. One at the glass blades, and those are the two that you would probably know of. Aside from that, it's hard to say.
Okay.
Like it's hard. So would there have been another one in the town? Like you wouldn't know.
It's possible, but
more accurate, then it's hard to say.
Yeah. Well, if you feel like we need to go, I think that's fine. And Vale like looks at all of you like, please say that's what you want to do.
I definitely think that we should stop in to say hello to your parents. And as long as we all feel safe here, Melly's kind of saying this a little quieter to just the group. I don't see why we couldn't stay. I mean, it is late at this point, and we could all benefit from a rest. And if there's any reason that we don't feel safe, then we could always try to go, but I don't know if we'll actually be able to get in contact with anyone right now, since it is late.
Yeah, what do the little guys think?
What is what?
Just thinking about what
Mac?
Echo and Mac.
I mean, I feel like the more time we're here, the more risk it incurs. But if you want to get more information or see your family, I understand that.
And I agree with Mac. I think the less time we spend here, the safer we'll be, but if you do feel safe here, if you trust that your family and the people of this town, well, won't make well, as long as we can lay low, I suppose.
I don't think that will be an issue.
When Echo says that, Melly's gonna take her cloak off and flip it around to the other side, so it's
Yes.
so it's not cow print. Well, why don't we
I'd be
see?
dazzled.
Yeah.
Why don't we see how we feel first? If we feel like when we get down there, it's truly not a place for us to be, then I see no reason for us to stay very long.
I think it should be fine. But yes. Yes, let's do that. Alright, I think we're just gonna follow Carrick.
Okay.
It sounds like.
Sure. Yeah. So Carrick just kind of continues on. I mean, you've been walking down this staircase, I think, at this point. And it's a little bigger, but it's almost like if any of you have ever been to the lighthouse at Montauk Point, where like you could walk up it and you're going to be on the one side and people walking down it are going to be on the other side, and you kind of have to like move out of the way, and it's a little bit terrifying because if you're the one walking on the outside, then you just see like straight down and there's not much stopping you. There is at least a railing in this case, but same setup as far as spiral staircase, people walking on either side. And as you continue down a ways, you get down to this wide open area, and over to the right, there appears to be like kind of commercial style buildings with these like all this mining equipment, and it looks like it goes deeper into the mountains, into the cavern, and there's people moving around, keep people working, pushing carts and of materials and whatnot. And then you also see towards the left, kind of just like residential buildings, and towards the bottom it looks like dwarven style, but as they go up, you see that they're kind of built up into like these buildings just built up into the side of the mountain, into the side of the cavern, that almost have more of like an elven style to them, where it's just a little more neat, if you will, less practical, if that makes sense. It almost looks like the same style architecture that you saw from the buildings that were left standing in Mollesmere. And you also notice that it gets a good bit warmer down here than it was up top. Uh, whatever setup they have here, there's some sort of heat that they're creating where you don't really need the heavy warm cloaks that you had when you were traveling through the mountainside. So, Carrick will just he's gonna just kind of dismiss Teddy, and Teddy's gonna go off and he'll go do his thing, rest for the night, and Carrick will continue on towards this left side as this city just kind of almost like curves and continues down as there's just these buildings and streets and it's kind of big. It's bigger than you would expect it to be from above and from the gate. But as you continue down, Carrick will just kind of turn to you guys and he'll just say, "It is a bit late, but Mother and Father, I'm sure, will be very pleased to see you again. It's been quite some time, brother."
Yes, I think it would be good to see them.
And they will be very glad to meet your company.
I would be very pleased to introduce them.
So you continue down for probably like 15-20 minute walk, something like that, and you get to a modest home deep in the heart of Uthadern, and Vale, you would recognize this to be the home that you grew up in.
I think anyone watching Vale would see him once again taking a deep breath, kind of a okay. Well, all right. Shall we?
What does the house look like, Vale? Describe it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ask me and I missed that?
What is that? What does your house look like?
I picture it being probably something that's got 2 or 3 stories to it. I think it would have a level of respectability in it, not overly, not complex, but like not flashy, but definitely something that would be nice and probably would fit a family of 5 comfortably. Like, you imagine there might be a few extra guest rooms if need be. But yeah, I would say they look like they probably do somewhat well for themselves, but not like a mansion or anything like that. Clean, very clean. The yard is probably meticulously maintained. Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
Does sound lovely. So yeah, Jake, is there like a little porch area? You have steps and
Yeah, there's like
or
this
is it just
archway
kinda-
on the front gate that you
Okay.
have to walk through that leads up to the front porch. It's a wraparound, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And it looks like there's 2 like small coffee tables, one on each side of the door, each with 2 seats on it. You see some
That says a lot.
symmetry. There's a lot of I feel like you see a lot of symmetry at this house, actually.
A lot of symmetry and also 4 seats for 5 a 5 family.
You picked up on that. Okay.
Okay.
I think that the house almost has a little bit of a coldness. I feel like some elven architecture, every time I picture it, it's beautiful, but there's usually a slight coldness to the way it's presented.
Question for the DM: are there any lights on in the house? Like, are there any candles lit or anything, or is it like have they clearly gone to bed?
There are lights on still in the house. Some magical lights of some sort. So we know there might not be electricity. But yeah, so Carrick just kind of leads the way and just walks straight up to the door and opens it right away, and he'll just say, "Well, you will never guess who I have with me today." That's a Jake, to put you on the spot again. What do your
Here we
parents
go.
look like
This
as
is
they
the best
turn the
part.
corner?
Was not prepared for this. Okay. I think because age on elves isn't always easy to tell, I think they don't look much older than Vale and his brother. I mean, if you're paying a lot of attention to that, you probably would see slight age lines, maybe like trying to tell the difference between someone who's like 35 and like 40. You might just think they're kind of the same.
No, 40's kind of old.
You shut your mouth. Um, but I think they're probably both well dressed, although at this time of day they're probably a little more casual. I feel like Vale's mother is probably beautiful. I think her father has a little bit of character in his face that's got a little bit almost like, hey, good for you, man, you married up a little bit. But like the way his stance and his body language and posturing is just, he's in charge and this is his house, and it's not necessarily like you're not welcome in it, but he just has a way of the way he looks at you, the way he just walks and turns. Like, I feel like even Carrick, I mean, you can obviously you say this, Josh, but I feel like even Carrick might have a slight change in his demeanor to it. But both of them have dark raven black hair like Vale does, but his mother's the one that has the teal blue eyes. His father's are a little more amber, I would say.
Nice.
But Vale is taller than his father. Something you think he feels good about.
Awesome. That was very good for put on the spot, Jake. Thank you. Yeah, so as you walk in, a male and female elf hop through the corner. They look exactly as Jake just described for us, where I'm not even going to repeat that. They look exactly as Jake just described to us. And there's kind of like on his mother's face, there's a look of like real surprise and like some like happiness there. And on the father's face, you could tell like he's kind of thrown back for a second, but like he immediately tries to hide it. You know, that he's surprised about this, and it has more of just like a normal, just unbothered demeanor about him. And
I think Vale would just
So-
say, "Mother, father."
and she'll just walk right up to you and say, "Valentinius, it's been so long. How have you been?" And she'll just give you a big hug and
Yeah.
embrace, and
You feel like a good amount of anxiety kind of just kind of comes out of him as he does that, or as she hugs him.
mhm.
I've been well, Mother. It's good to see you.
And as she kind of backs off, and it's very good to see you too. And the father will kind of walk out and just put his hand out to shake and give you a nod and kind of like a light closed mouth smile, and be like, well, it's good to see you, son.
Vel will shake his
visited
hand.
in a while.
It's been too long, Father.
Indeed. And the mother will kind of look at the group and just say,
Oh,
"Well, who are all these lovely people that you've brought to my
yes,
doorstep?"
yes. Well, these are my friends. And he gestures to Mac and says, "This is my friend Mac. This is Echo, and this is Melly. We've met a few months ago, and well, we find ourselves here now."
Well, aren't we the lucky ones? And she'll kind of give each of you a hug and say, I'm Burel, and this is Perrin. Jake, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Burrell and Perrin. Yep.
Burel and Perrin. Okay, thank you. Is this your first time in Uthodurn? She'll say to the group.
Yes, it is. Your home is lovely, by the way, and, I should hardly think that you're the lucky ones here. And he does a little bow.
Thank you.
It's truly a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for having us in your home.
Of course, and Perrin will just say, "Well, we won't give him much choice," and she'll get an elbow, I think, or he'll get an elbow from that from Burrell. And
Melly will
she'll-
go red in the face when that happens.
and Burrell will just say to you all, "Well, it is late. We were about to get some rest. I'm sure you all need some sleep. The guest rooms are already prepared. If you would like to spend the night, you're
If-
welcome."
If that's all right. If not, we can find other arrangements.
No, don't be silly. Don't be silly.
Vale was definitely looking at his father when he said that.
And he'll he kind of meets your gaze and he'll kind of give you a nod and just say, "Of course you should spend the night."
All right. Then yes, I think. Vale just looks at the other three. I think that would be good.
Your generosity is most appreciated.
Of course, it's the least we could do for friends of Vale, and we're just happy to see Vale and see all of you. And Jake, I would say that when you got the nod and the clearance from your father, you could tell that he meant it, and you would probably know that any like rudeness from him too is mostly for the fact that he doesn't like surprises,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
less
know,
from an actual unwelcoming standpoint.
Right. I think Val just doesn't like that, so that's why he was.
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
But good to know.
and Carrick is just going to turn to you all and say, "Well, it was very nice traveling with all of you. I think I will get back to the glass blades and tell them of my journey and what happened. I shouldn't. I know Teddy is already there, and I shouldn't keep them waiting too much longer."
Yes. Will we see you in the morning, or what
Yes,
would you like us to do?
I'll come find you at some point in the day, and if I take too long, you could always have your friend here send a message to my head, right?
Well,
It's not exactly long range, but I could always try to reach out and see if you're nearby.
Well, I'll find you all at some point in the morning.
all right. Well,
And hope,
thank you, brother.
of course. Try to stay out of trouble, huh?
We'll see. And he just kind of has a wry smile.
Aaron just shakes his head at the sound of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I can get everyone settled in, especially if you are just heading to bed.
Sure. But did you need any food or anything? We have plenty in the kitchen. If
Val just looks at Echo and just says, "Yes, I think that would be nice."
well, I can go. I'll go heat everything up for you.
Do we have any pickles?
Pickles. Yeah. Yes, we do. Should I?
I think some pickles might be nice,
Oh, okay.
but not
of
coffee.
course.
Echo has gone fully like red in the face, with, like sweat. Like the idea that somebody else, it's like, oh, we were just going to bed, and he's like, oh, like when you go to a friend's house, and like when you were a kid, like you go to a friend's house for a sleepover or something, and your friend's like, hey man, are you hungry? And you're like, oh yeah, I could eat a little bit, and then the person whose house you're at is like, Mom, can you make a bunch of food? My friend's hungry. Like the feeling of dread that sweeps over. It's like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted at all. I just wanted like 6 Doritos. So yeah, that's where Echo's at right now.
When Val sees his face and just says, "Mother, I can take care of this. This is not something that you need to concern yourself with."
Are you sure?
Of course I am. I know my way around our kitchen.
Oh, all right. Well, then we'll just be going. We'll be going to bed. But if you need anything, you know where to find us.
He just smiles warmly and nods.
She gives you another little squeeze
Yeah.
on her way. And they have left you alone.
All right. I would lead everybody into the kitchen.
Echo stares daggers at Vale for like into like the back of his head as they're walking through. He's just like,
Yeah.
but yes.
Yeah, so once everybody's in there and he's like looking through the storeroom to find those pickles because he didn't know what the heck else to ask for.
Yeah, there's a jar of pickles in there. They're it's like a
Is there not like a charcuterie platter just like ready to go?
I mean, there are like there's nothing cut, you know, there's
Yeah,
nothing
Mel would
ready
be looking
to go.
to try and
but
put something like that together, actually,
yeah, so
just while everybody's talking.
you find plenty of cheeses and like your parents are into that kind of thing. You know, they're all about the wine and cheese nights and that kind of stuff, and you
Yep.
do find plenty of fine wine and
Yeah.
nice Bella Vitano.
There you go.
There's some good cheese in there. And you also find pickles, but the only pickles that you find
Uh-oh.
are it's trying to find I don't know what it's like it's a spicy thing. You find a glass jar with pickles in it, and then you also see some sort of like red pepper inside there as well.
Okay. So yeah, Bale's just like putting stuff on the counter and he's got nervous energy about him. He's not he looks a little out of sorts, like as he's trying to make everybody happy.
You also find some breads and jams and fruit.
Yeah. It occurs to him that I probably could have some wine right now, and then he just like looks through the wine. Takes out a bottle. So I think this might help a little.
Sure. Yeah, you find it.
All right. Again, as he's getting all that ready, I don't want to report anything. I'm sorry if I'm making any of you uncomfortable. I don't really know what I'm doing.
This is certainly an unusual change of pace.
Yes.
But you're doing your best. And I think, if you don't know what you're doing, we certainly don't know what to do while we're here, but at least it seems that we're somewhere at least somewhat safe. And if I may say, I have to say I'm a little surprised, Vale, that your home and your family are as... I know normal is a relative term, but
yeah.
just seems like a nice home. Your parents were lovely, if your father a bit on the frightening side.
Bale just kind of cocks his head like, well, I think from a certain point of view, I would rather fight a group of goblins or that Kruthic again than be here. But let's just say if everything is in order and fits neatly in their box that they have prepared for you, then everything is fine. If not, well, then it is not fine.
I don't think any of us have any intention of upsetting your family. I know showing up this late.
Oh,
expecting a room and food.
Well, my father has his ways, but he would never turn away a family member in need. And any hostility that you are sensing is 100% directed at me. I didn't realize, well... He just looks down, and I didn't realize that my sister left. How could they not blame me? I don't know.
Sounds like she looks up to you quite a bit.
She's my world.
Well,
And she always has.
family situations can be tricky in the best of times.
It's true. But as far as being safe, there's no place else, I would say, that would be more safe from, whether it be the Empire or the Dynasty. Uthodurn, for all of its faults, I do trust it. I don't have... My issue is more with someone else trying to dictate terms on other people than the job that they have done. So as far as being safe here, I do feel safe. I do. And I would like to leave as soon as we can. Just because.
Well, I would like to leave as soon as we can also.
Val just like starts laughing a little bit and then like laughs a little bit more. Like he kind of...
Is it like that nervous energy kind of a laughter where it's like
It's
you
coming
start
out.
laughing and then...
It's just coming out because like Mac has always had a way of kind of cutting right to the heart of whatever is going on. And is just so danged pragmatic about it. And it's just like, yes, like he just finds it so refreshing. Like there's no layers of subtext. There's no... Yeah, so that's... Then you see a little bit of the red wine teeth in Vale's mouth. Slight, because he's had a whole glass already. I don't even know what to expect as far as tomorrow goes with my brother. But
If
is there
he wants you
information
to
that
make...
yeah,
If he wants you to make a report, are you going to try to do that before, or do you think we should just try to leave the city first thing in the morning?
well, like I said, I trust Uthodurn. I don't think they have any nefarious intent, which is why I had felt safe coming this way. Certainly not like the Empire. From what I can tell, at least.
I'm not necessarily worried about Uthodurn itself, as more maybe spies that may be here.
I mean, I suppose there's always that risk. It's a pretty secure place. I would prefer not to have my name on any report, but, you know, my brother has already... He's going to tell his superiors, and in that way, the cat is already out of the bag. But he would have mentioned that he saw us, so... He's very thorough.
So he'll be mentioning all of us by name in the report?
Probably. His face sinks.
Well, I guess there is no way around that. Because it wasn't like we were going to just see your brother in the woods and then run the opposite direction.
He did see us first.
Well, as it stands, we're still planning to leave as soon as we can.
Yes, I think my brother at least does realize that.
Do you think
I'm
he'll
just-
include... Do you think he'll include where we're planning to head to?
Don't see why not. I could ask him not to. Whether he would honor
He's
such a
making
request.
He's making his report tonight, though.
Also, it is probably more suspicious to say, don't say anything about this. We didn't really give him any specifics about why we were going, but
Nope. And I have no intention of doing so.
I think if we can just say, you know, as we've already said, that we're going to see. Actually, if we can say less, the better. But we've already told him that we're going to see someone that Echo knows.
They're expecting us. We'd hate to be rude. You get a nice wine teeth smile again. Like Vale's trying to be confident, but there's wine in his teeth. Actually, who should I say we are going to see?
If we need to give a specific, I suppose I would rather we just say that we were going to the monastery.
Can we say less than that? Have we already said that?
I think he knows he's in service to some kind of monastery.
But that doesn't necessarily imply that we're going to the monastery. Either way, if they ask for more details, we should probably just only repeat what we've already said.
I've never seen it. I want to learn more about... They know I've always been interested in the ruins. That's where the other half of my people went. It's only natural that I would want to go there. And since I met a new friend from there, I thought he could show me around. That sound good? It's all true, really. From a certain point of view.
We could always say, though, that if we do need to give a specific, if they really press it, that we're going to see Master Dinoa.
All right.
It's not like he's not known. And like you said, I am a disciple of Ayun. I'm just going there on religious business.
Yes, exactly.
That's all. Just business. Just going there for business. Oh, gods.
Here, have some wine.
Okay.
Like the weight of remembering why it is that we're going there just all like kind of came back.
Yep.
So he kind of shakily drinks some of the wine. What kind of red wine is it? I think that's also
Okay.
is it something sweet or is it something more, more robust?
It's robust.
I would imagine it's very
It's
robust.
robust.
Their wine more
Yeah,
robust.
it's...
Yeah. So he kind of
Yeah. Hold on, perhaps I have some...
No, he just
rosé,
keeps he
some-
just keeps it going.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh. Yeah, I can get another bottle.
No, it's quite. It's. I'm sorry. Probably. Oh, this is good. I probably shouldn't be drinking this.
Have as much as you want, my friend.
No, thank you. Oh,
Hey.
God.
Hey, listen, I know this is not easy on any of us, but we're in this together. And so Vale just kind of holds out his glass. It's all of us. I was definitely looking for a cheers moment there. Yeah. So.
Cheers.
And then. Big old gulp.
Mac is drinking water, by the way.
So yeah,
But he did
sounds like
still
Echo and
cheers.
Vale are having Max share. Maybe Melly's too. I don't know.
Drinking
Melly's-
water while
I was gonna say Melly's not drinking wine right now.
I was gonna say
I'll
Mac
say-
is drinking water while he's considering killing Vale's parents.
Oh my God! Stop. That would not.
Oh,
I'll
talk about
say
inner
that-
party conflict.
Considering
scoot
he
over
didn't
to
say
Melly.
he was actually gonna do it.
Ay, ay, ay.
There's a difference
No,
between
but-
thought and action. That's true.
No, but you like, and whether you notice it or not, Mac is a little apprehensive.
Yeah. Sure. Is there anything else we should be considering before we get settled in?
Sometimes when you're in the safest places are when you're most vulnerable. Just remember that when you think that this is a safe location.
Safe in one way, I would say.
We'll keep our guard up.
But yes.
Do we know what the payment will be for whatever circle we end up using?
I don't know. Would I have any idea, Josh, actually?
Somewhere in like the 50 plus gold range, something like that.
We should probably find out how much money we have.
Yeah. Do you guys not know how much money you have?
I don't know.
We haven't
Oh,
gotten
we
a whole
don't
lot
have a
of
party
gold.
banker.
I know how much gold I have. But we haven't gotten gold pieces in a while. Mostly
Yeah.
an economy of stuff.
We've got some gems.
Hmm.
Um,
I've got
I
23
know
gold
how much
pieces.
Mac has, but the rest of the
No,
party
that's
doesn't
right.
know how much Mac has.
That's right.
That's why we had
Quite a bit of gold.
Yes.
That's where all the gold went. That's right.
Kind of just thinking to myself, I was like, I feel like I've given you an okay amount of gold, like not a ton.
I mean,
but-
that much wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that much. Mac
to
may
cover
have
that.
40. He has only 45 gold. He doesn't have that, but he didn't have. He only had like 5 whenever that happened. Because he.
Well, I
gave
have
one.
in our treasure, I don't know if we've given this out, but I have 43 gold, 7 platinum, and 12 copper. And just like a treasure spot. I don't know if Izzee, have you put that in the bag of holding? Or written that down? Because you normally, I think you have the bag, right?
Do. I have to find the section where I wrote everything.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I have, 20 gold, or 21 gold from, I have 10 Malaeus Mir coins. Yeah, so we could definitely pitch it in and make that happen, I think.
I like
anyways.
that Michael didn't say anything.
Yep, of course.
And I don't want him to. I'm just saying that I like that.
Yeah, no, very on brand. So I think Vale would just say maybe about 50 gold. I think I don't know exactly.
Then, do we know where the other circle will actually put us? And will we need to pay a fee on the other side?
I would
Yes.
just say, typically, if any of you know anything about like this kind of travel, you really only pay one way. Like you don't get charged a fee on the other end, unless you're in the house of, I don't know, some mobster or something similar, like say like an insurance agent.
Like
or
maybe
something.
when you take a teleportation circle to Shady Creek Run,
Yeah.
you might have to pay on the other side.
The families get a cut. That's right. Exactly. Echo, do you know where one of these circles may be?
That's a good question, and I think it's probably a question for the DM. I know that so Echo, walked to Bysay Steel when he first got there. He would have gone around the town a fair amount. Like he would be in the monastery for the most part, but he would get out into town. There's some stuff we discussed without, not going to get into any of it because I don't need to. But would Echo have some idea of where a teleportation circle would be?
Yeah, you would know that in like the that you have heard of one being used in like the Mages Guild area in that town, and then also usually the residents of like whatever monarch, they also have one like nearby.
Okay.
Well, I believe the mages made some use of it. And I think there was one reserved for royalty or those commissioned by royalty to arrive. Either way, it's not a massive place.
Do you have a preference if we have the choice?
From what I recall, the mages mostly kept to themselves, kind of cloistered away. I think it would make more sense to be there than
Sure.
the other, but I think that also depends on where they will want us to go from here. I suppose these will be questions to ask tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yes. On that note, maybe we should get some rest.
Did anyone eat the pickle?
I meant to say that Echo would have, like, while everyone was talking, he would have been stress eating a little bit. He definitely would have popped one.
Okay. How does Echo do with spicy food?
He's actually fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's like, he doesn't like go out of his way to eat the spiciest thing that's around, but he's used to eating spicy dishes because of some stuff that people would make in the monastery and just sort of in town. Like, it's not that unusual for him. I think it was unexpected.
All right. Yeah, that's fine then. If depending on how you answered, there might have been a con save, but I think you're okay.
Okay.
Based on that description.
Yeah, I think just maybe every couple of words while Echo was talking, there might have been a little like a.
Yes.
Kind of like Peapad.
So
Aw.
I found our contents of the bag of holding.
Nice.
We have big garlic, those 3 smooth rocks, 2 of which are sending stones. I believe Vale took the bundle of arrows that are very fine. And then Echo
Oh,
has
yeah, I
the
went through those.
bracers. Yeah, and then 30 gold pieces, 2 diamonds, one of which we've used. And then Vale has an emerald and a ruby, right?
Those are the magic ones he uses, yeah.
Then we have a second emerald that's not
Oh.
magical.
Okay.
And then we also found, actually, I think our total for gold is 102 pieces.
Do you think that's in addition to the 43 I wrote, or how do you... we haven't coordinated well, so I guess that's a question for Josh, but... Because I
I
have
would
some...
say yes, that's in addition to.
All right, so Izzee, do you want to keep the total with the bag?
Do you want me to add your 40?
Yeah, do you want to keep track of the money since you have the bag too, or?
Sure.
Okay, so it's 43 gold, 7 platinum.
Wait.
And-
Sorry.
That's fine. No, 7.
7
is
platinum.
nice, everybody. Yes, 43 gold, 7 platinum, and 12 copper is what I have written.
Okay.
How many
I'm gonna
electrum?
erase that officially. Vale has 10.
That was a joke. Electrum is a joke.
It is a joke, isn't it? Everything else scales by 10, and then let's just throw Electrum in the middle of all that.
If you're going to use Electrum, use it because Electrum is supposed to be like an old currency. This is
Yeah.
just my tip. Use it from a specific society so it at least has something to it. Like it's a coin from
I like that.
Willersmere. So, maybe it's worth half a gold piece, or maybe it's, maybe it's a little different, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It might mean more to someone somewhere else because of where it came from.
Hmm.
Essentially, my advice to
point.
all you DMs is don't call it Electrum.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think, were we mid-conversation or are we going to bed? I forget. Oh, you had your
Yes.
pickles. That's right.
Did anyone else have the pickles?
Yeah, Vale probably would have had a pickle.
How does Vale do with spicy food?
I think he would know what he was getting into on that one. So
Okay.
he does all right.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're no con saves. We're fine.
Mhm.
We're just for anyone. If you eat a pickle, you eat a pickle.
If you really want one, maybe Echo's been having indigestion or something. I don't know. You really want someone to make a con save.
Indigestion time.
Okay,
Melly eats a pickle.
Make a
She's
con save. No.
She's not used to spicy things.
Yeah, farm
She
food,
only-
bland food.
She only drinks milk.
Oh
You
God.
milk drinker.
Oh no. Oh, maybe you
Worse
got a
than
good
a
base
mouth
then.
breather.
Oh boy.
Somebody, one of my coworkers walked by yesterday, and another one of my coworkers said to him, "You look like you about to drink some milk," as he walked by, and I don't know why he said that, but I laughed really hard at it. Exactly how
even mean?
Michael was laughing right now.
What does that even
What does it
mean?
even mean? I don't know, but it's
Um,
provocative.
Yeah.
Izzee, I actually do need a con save from you.
Five.
5?
Oh wait, hold on.
I was gonna say I think we've talked about this.
Yeah, you could use your thing.
Well, it's an 8. But
8
I'm
total?
I'm okay with her failing this.
I didn't tell you
Okay.
why you were making a con save.
That's okay. We'll see what happens.
So you used all of your things?
No, I didn't. But I can choose. Oh well, so I guess I fail. Do I want to know
I'm-
what happens?
I'm just gonna tell you that, like, the timing happens to coincide with the pickle,
Oh no.
but as you, it's the faces that get me. I don't know, whatever it is, seeing Jake and Evan together over there, it's really messing with my head.
All right, wait, hold on.
So,
Let me see.
yeah.
Hold on. Did I use the thing today? Maybe I will use the thing. Hold on. Where is it? Haha. Okay, I didn't use it. All right, sure. I'm gonna use favored by the gods,
Okay.
cause now I'm nervous. Everyone's making me nervous. Okay. Okay, it's a 14.
Okay. You still fail. So, uh, so as you start to eat this pickle, yeah, like it's pretty spicy. You weren't really prepared for that. You kind of like cough a little bit, and your throat's like burning. Um, but you also just kind of feel like this shudder inside, and you get that nauseous feeling that you got as you were walking back up from the dock, and you you kind of get this little like shake in your hand, like if you're holding a glass of water, or holding a glass of or food or whatever, like your hands just start to shake a little bit, and it'd definitely be visible, um, unless if you put your hands in your pockets or whatever. Um, but um, you actually the same way you kind of when you touch the thing, when you touch the butt, it was like a light like came out of you. Um, that happens again, and this room, which was kind of dimly lit with some candles and things, and it is dark like outside, this room kind of like lights up with that, and you get tossed backwards, fall prone on the floor, unconscious.
What? Melly? Vale just rushes to. Is she breathing? Does she have a pulse?
Yeah, she's breathing. She's just as far as you could tell, sleeping,
Yeah.
knocked out, unconscious.
Vale just like looks at Echo and Mac and it's like,
It's that thing.
Melly. He kind of gives her a little, just to wake up, Melly, wake up.
Do I wake
Melly.
up?
She does not
Val-
wake up.
Cast Cure Wounds on her from the ring.
Okay.
So you see a similar like light from that you normally see come out of Melly.
Okay.
Channel
you
into
could
her.
roll. You could roll your dice.
And then your modifier is a 5, right, Izzee? I think. Yeah, so that's a total of 8.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of. It seems like for a moment, like not much happens. And then Melly just Melly, you just kind of suddenly you feel this warmth as you jolt awake. It almost feels like you feel warm, but you also feel like someone just threw a bucket of water on you. And you are stable.
Don't move. What happened?
I was feeling queasy. And shaky. And then I was here. What happened?
All right. You got shaky and there was a light and you got thrown back and then you were not conscious. I used one of your spells.
Ellie sits up. Well, this is very inconvenient. It was exactly how I was feeling after I touched that artifact that we have.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure what's going on or why that happened. Question. Is it like the same time? Like, is it like just 24 hours? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it just happening like at the same time point each day?
No, it was a different time. So yeah, it was a different time.
But if you had to use a spell to wake me up,
You weren't waking up on your own.
I have no idea. I really don't.
Vale looks at Echo briefly and then looks at Mac like, I think perhaps we should try to find help for her.
That's what we're doing. We're going to get
Right.
answers about this. No one is going to know what is going on. And to be honest, I don't know if seeking out help is the best idea, which I know is probably weird coming from me, because if it was any of you and I couldn't fix it, that would be the first thing I would suggest, but I just don't know if it's worth the risk right now, because we don't know so much.
You're worth a risk. Vale just kind of
But I
almost
think
looks
what
like he's moping.
I think what our goal here will help Melly by doing what we're doing. Figuring out what it is and what it can do, I think is most likely the quickest way that we can help Melly, and the goal that we have for doing that. I mean, if anything, this just probably means we should tarry less and get there even quicker. But
Yes.
I still think the original plan is the best hope for figuring all this out.
I think you're right, I guess. We can always come back if we had to. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think you can walk?
Let me try. So Melly will stand up.
Yeah,
She'll
that'll
walk
help.
over to the chair. Well, that was a bit more excitement than I was expecting us to have past our bedtimes.
Perhaps some rest is what we need.
Who knew those pickles would have such a kick?
Truly.
Do you want one?
I'm good.
Question for the DM.
Mhm.
Is the kitchen okay? Is anything broken? Is there anything we have to like pick up or?
Well, why don't you roll an investigation check for me, or well, investigation or perception?
All right. Let me roll it first, and then we'll see.
Also, Izzy, have you ever had a migraine?
Yes.
You know, like the
Oh
day
my
after you have a migraine when you still feel like crap?
Yes.
That's how you feel.
Great. Why do I have to stink at all this stuff? Okay, what are the options? Perception or investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
They're both garbage. It's a 4.
You don't see anything. It looks fine.
Did anything get broken when that happened? Melly will say to Vale, who recognizes what might be out of place in the kitchen.
Yeah, Vale definitely do it once over to make sure everything's all right.
I will help.
You want me to do an investigation check?
Nah, I think you would see like the only thing that's messed up is the jar of pickles dropped. So like there's some juice that needs to be cleaned up on the floor,
Yep.
and jar's broken.
Yeah. Vale starts casting prestidigitation as needed to clean up the mess. Says, don't worry about that. I've got it.
Thank you, Vale.
And just because it would be, I think, an interesting reminder, looks like he's manipulating shadow as it's cleaning up the mess. Which is all sorts of symbolic for Vale right now.
So after you get everything cleaned up, you guys plan on heading to bed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, as you get everything cleaned up fairly quickly, head to sleep, and I think we'll take our first break of the night there. Because we went a long time without a break. So if anybody has any questions for us, whether it's about like what's going on in the game right now, or what Michael's favorite fruit is, or just anything about like D&D in general, just let us know in chat, and then we'll answer those as soon as we come back. Baby. All right. Did anyone have anything specific that they wanted to mention before they went to sleep or as they wake up?
I don't think that Melly would have slept well that night.
Were we in separate rooms or were we all like in one room?
There were actually 4 rooms. So
Does Vale still have his room? I think Vale wouldn't know the answer to that.
surprisingly enough, Vale does still have his room.
Okay.
This is a real question then. So then, what poster's on your wall?
I was literally about to say, I bet there's a
I was
poster
gonna say
for
the same
Speed,
thing.
like Keanu Reeves poster up on the wall.
No, you just see a poster for, hold on, for the quick and the quiet, and you see as a quote on the bottom it says your family.
Your family.
Yeah, like your, but it's like, you know, you hear the accent. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay.
And you see it looks like an elf. He's kind of bald. Looks like he's the featured person on this poster.
It's like a stage show.
And the
somewhere.
horse that he's on looks really like, wow, that's probably a really fast horse. Yes. No, nothing like that. No, it's pretty plain. It looks like his room looks probably neat because I'm sure they didn't leave it a mess if there was a mess. But you see like bow diagrams, you know, anything that you know of Vale. The room seems to fit. But
Treasure map on the wall.
definitely a treasure map on the wall. Probably a drawing, an old drawing of what Malaeus Mir used to look like. Or you would imagine. having been there. That kind of a thing.
50,000 people used to live here. Anybody? Anybody? Call of Duty? Okay.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, okay.
Is that Captain Price?
Yeah, I don't remember what he sounds like though. So.
I feel like you did
That
good.
sounds about right, yeah.
I was like, dang. But yeah, was that just to find out about Vale's room or something else, Michael?
Oh, I was just curious.
Yeah,
That was it.
Yeah, okay, let's throw Jake on the spot again. Okay.
It's Jake's day.
I always get a little slow start, and then I'm like, all right, no, I'm here. Let's do it. We can figure this out.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you wake up. You don't see like a sunrise or anything like that out the window. It's just city streets. Yeah, the city is mostly underground. So, you know, you're not really gonna get like the sun and all that here. But you could see that, you know, people are starting to be moving around and whatnot outside. So, you know, it's the morning.
All right. So does Vale hear like his parents kind of milling about, that kind of a thing?
You hear like a little bit of rustling of things and stuff like being tidied up in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vale goes down to see what's going on in there, I think. Assuming... yeah, he would probably be up before everybody because they're all elves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you walk downstairs and you find your mom in the kitchen. Just like, you left things fairly neat, but she's still
Mhm.
making things neat because that's
She
what
wants
she
it
would
her
do,
way.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
she
sorry
says
if we
to you,
made a mess.
"No, that's quite all right. Did you sleep well?"
Yes, I did. It's so odd to be in that room again.
Yes. Oh well, it's exactly the way you left it.
Hmm.
So suddenly.
I think a tear actually comes out of Vale. I'm sorry,
Like-
Mother. Have you heard from Vanny?
You get like a long like from her, like she just kind of, you could tell she, I don't know, like that
Yeah.
was a loaded question.
Yep.
And
Because his eyes are welled up and a tear has fallen already, I think.
she just kind of shakes her head and just will say, "Well, every once in a while we get a letter from her. But she left not long after you did."
Hmm.
She hasn't come back to visit since.
Vale just kind of staring at the counter.
Well, I see you helped yourself to some of our wine last night.
Oh. Yes, kind of wipes the tear away, clears his eyes. I hope that was all right.
That's fine. You can take as much wine as you like, but you broke the pickle jar, and you know how particular your father is with is Pickles.
Yes, I do.
You should,
We can stick
before
it
he
on my tab.
notices, you should, well, sure. Before he notices, I would go to town and pick up a new bottle for him.
Yes. Yes, I think I'll do that. I can make it right. And Vel goes up, he leaves, and he goes upstairs to try and get his stuff together. I don't know if anyone's awake. Probably not quite. I don't want to speak for everyone.
I would say that Mac would probably be up as early as would be allowable for a full night's rest.
Yeah.
Just because of the situation, he would just be on edge and like wouldn't be able to sleep in.
So, I guess here's my first question. Are you trying to like go out and do your thing before they wake up, or because they're
If he has any idea of how long it's been, and if he feels like he could accomplish it before they wake up, I think he would.
you would get the idea that they'd probably be awake before you got back.
Alright.
Maybe not like a really long time before they got back, but like
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
before
he's
you
not
got
going to
back,
leave
for
him
sure.
like that then. I think he would just kind of think about that, and if everybody, you said everybody had their own room.
everybody had their own room.
All right.
If you're like if you're making any sort of noise, I would say Melly would definitely wake up because she's not sleeping very well.
Val would probably be wanting to see if she was okay. So, yeah, I think he would open the door just to see if she's okay. But she's awake.
She's in Vanny's room.
Of course she is. Okay.
Oh, yep, that's weird. All right. So am I awake when he?
I'd say yeah, groggy, but yeah.
Okay. So because Melly didn't sleep well, the blankets are just like it looks like a milkshake. Like it's all just like swirled and blended, and like her arms off the bed, the other arms over her eyes. She's like trying to sleep, but is like when you're tired enough to fall asleep, but your body says no.
No, yeah.
That's where she's at.
But it is, I guess, it's obvious then that she's not asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Melly, can I get you anything?
I think maybe just some water, but I can get up and get it myself.
That doesn't.
Melly's gonna get up and swing her legs over the bed.
I can. Okay. Well. All right. Maybe some juice. I feel like that's the Vale family cure. Oh, you dizzy? Have some juice.
You got diabetes? Have some juice.
Yeah.
Yes. Juice or water, and I think anything that might be a little refreshing would be helpful right now. Maybe
bring
some
it to
fresh
you.
air.
All right. Yes, that's fine.
Was your mother upset about the pickle jar?
No, don't worry about that. I might buy him a jar of pickles before we go, but you don't need to worry about that at all.
Okay. Is everyone else awake?
I hadn't checked. I just wanted to see if you were all right before. I was thinking of maybe running to the store and getting the pickles before everyone got up. But I
Okay.
can. If you'd like, my mother can keep you company.
Well,
She probably would want to know how I'm doing, and I don't know anything of how to tell her that.
okay. I would very much like that if she wouldn't mind.
No, of course not. And, well, we'll lead you downstairs if you follow.
Melly's not being particularly quiet. Like if I'm assuming Vale's dad was not awake, but like, she's not like stealthing down the stairs.
Mhm.
She's being courteously quiet.
I think, yeah, once they reach the kitchen, I think he would just say, he would get her probably a glass of water and a glass of juice, and just say, I'm going to run to the market real quick and get those pickles, I think. If that's all right with you, Mother.
She'll just say, that would be quite all right, but I don't think his store opens for another 2 hours.
They'll just, right, of course. Yes. He just looks a little, out of sorts, I think. What would you like for breakfast, Melly?
I don't know if I could think about eating right now. Still feeling a little off.
Oh.
So
Have some juice.
thank you. What kind is it?
Grapefruit.
Of course it is.
Okay. I didn't know that. So is that like grape juice?
No, not at all. Actually,
But
it's a bit like orange juice, but
You grew up on a farm and you've never had grapefruit juice before. Do they not have that down in the Menagerie Coast?
now they don't. I would very much like to try some.
Well, you got a glass of it.
yeah.
Right there. So,
Melly drinks the grapefruit juice and the water.
Someone ready for another Constitution saving roll?
Oh my god.
another con save incoming? Is that what's happening?
No, that's not what's happening. Am I the only one who likes grapefruit juice? Is that...
I think grapefruit juice is delicious.
It's just a bit much.
It's a little, yeah. I mean, it's a little bitter, but
It just seemed like something parents would have in the house. I don't know, the way you said it, it just fit. I was like,
It
yeah.
was the perfect pick for like a family cure-all juice.
Yeah, it was
Because
great.
it's like it's
It was
not that
great.
common,
That's very
but it's like
true.
It was perfect.
we've got of course we have a decanter of of grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit juice. Here in the mountains where there are no grapefruit.
Where fruit
Nice.
doesn't exist.
It's imported
Well,
From the Menagerie
now
Coast.
from the Menagerie Coast. It must be the eastern Menagerie Coast.
God.
the other side.
Yeah.
That,
think
or
it's
in this
honest.
world, grapefruits only grow in the mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fantasy.
Yep. Yeah. Magic grapefruits. What?
How do you think Melly would like grapefruit juice?
I think she would enjoy it. She likes anything that's sweet and she doesn't mind tart. I think she would do that thing though, where like someone has a glass of juice and they drink a little bit and then they pour water in. So like they still get the fruit flavor with everything that they're drinking.
Nice. That seems like a very Melly thing. What's up, Michael?
He said that like that's just something people do, and most of you nodded your heads like, yeah, that happens, and I've never heard of that. So
I don't do that, but I know a lot of people who do that with like juice and a lot of stuff. They'll water it down. But
Usually with like kids, anytime when I was waiting tables, you'd see moms cutting juice with water all the
It's
time.
so much sugar.
It
It's
is.
so much
Yeah.
sugar.
Yeah. Like apple juice?
Guys.
No.
it's no
Guys, are
matter
we
how
old?
back with it, and I'm over here like, who
I
does
think we're old.
I've accepted this about myself a long time ago.
I knew someone who their
Oh my
mom
gosh.
used to cut soda with water.
Oh, that's unspeakable.
Done. They win.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? That's like, here, it's healthy now. You know,
Yeah.
like.
They could have at least used seltzers so you keep the bubbles. And all right, we've
Oh,
digressed.
boy. Okay. All right. So your mom is gonna prepare just a little breakfast with some eggs and some like kind of weird looking mushrooms. By the time that's ready, I would say Echo and Mac would be up as well. She'll just let you know that. Well, I cooked some breakfast for you. What are your plans for your visit, Vale?
Well, we were going to head to Byseus Teal, actually. We were actually heading in the other direction when we saw Carrick.
Oh my!
Yes, it's well, I've never been there before, and I was hoping to study a little bit more about the ruins.
You ran into Carrick.
We did, yes.
He was off doing his glassblade thing.
Yes, he was with Teddy.
Teddy's a good man. It's
Think
good
so
what they
too.
all do for us.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Byseus Teal is a beautiful place.
That's what I've heard. My friend Echo is from there. Have you ever been there, Mother?
Yes, not in a very long time, but I have been there. Your father and I went there many years ago. Just for a visit. But
Do we
it's a
have
very...
family there?
old.
Thought just occurred to me.
She says out loud.
Her voice drops an octave.
3 octaves.
Do we have family there?
Oh.
Searching database.
No, okay.
Oh man. Well, we don't talk about him much, but your uncle, your uncle, spent some time in Bicey Steel. I don't know if he's still there. I haven't heard from him in years.
Do I know who she's talking about? Or no?
No.
No.
You've never
You have
heard
an
of this
uncle?
uncle?
Your brother or father's?
My brother.
What's his name?
His name is Garrett.
Oh. And did... Oh, did he... When the split happened, or why? How did he get there?
Well, he did. He originally came with us to Uthadone, but he actually, well, he went after someone and made his way over to Bicey Steel. I don't know if he made his life there or if he went further down south, but I know he did spend some time in Bicey Steel.
Did he go there for the same reason that I am?
Are you going to Bicey Steel for a woman?
No.
Then I don't think so.
Who? Hal has a smile on his face that he just can't help. This sounds like a story I really would like to hear, Mother.
Well, pull up a chair, grab your breakfast, and listen up. I haven't told this story in a very long time, so forgive me of the details.
Hal does so.
Uh,
Mom, tell me a story.
my brother was he was very headstrong, very curious, and not unlike you.
Hal just nods, like, I had a feeling he might be like me.
When he had a friend who they more than a friend. My brother and this woman would they were together for quite some time, and before the corruption, there was a rift between them. After the corruption happened, she was lost. We hadn't seen her he thought she was dead, he came with us to Uthadern, and even though they didn't end on the best of terms, he was different after then. He used to be a very excited person, where if you gave him an interesting topic, he would study it and learn everything there is to know about it. And you might be the one who introduced him to this idea, and he'll tell you a day, a week, an hour later, more information than you could possibly imagine about something that you told him about. After we came to Uthadern, he was more quiet and reclusive, and he kind of just stayed to himself. One day he got a letter, and he thought that it was from her, and said to go to Baise's too. So that's where he went. And then I did not hear from him for a year. When I heard from him, he was asking for money. We helped him out and went there to visit him. And when we went there, we didn't find him. And I have not heard from him since.
How long ago was that?
Before you were born.
My. Do you believe he's still there?
I have no idea what I believe anymore. I've not thought about this in decades. I'm sure he's still around somewhere, causing some sort of trouble.
Sounds a lot like me.
You are smarter than he ever was. Just wish you'd commit to something and do something productive.
Well, I don't exactly know where my path takes me, but I don't think I'll be spending much more time in Shady Creek Run.
That is very good to hear. I hope it's
I,
not because you've gotten yourself into any trouble.
When am I not in trouble, Mother?
Fair enough. Just be safe.
Yes, well, I will always do my best at that. And if he hesitates to say anything else for a second, as if he's thinking if he should, and then he says, and if I can find Vanny or Garrett, I will.
Well, I hope you do. And she gives you a kind of thin but like genuine smile and prolonged eye contact.
Vale returns the same. Just looks at the rest of them. So I have an uncle. You haven't heard of him, have you, Echo?
Am I downstairs now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed everybody was at the table. I thought you. Okay.
I didn't know if this, because I know Echo was kind of late getting up, but Mac, I think, was trying to get up as early as he could, and you had mentioned that we were starting to kind of make our way downstairs while this was happening. So I don't know if that was happening, you know. I think Echo's ears would have been burning, you know, if he was kind of just sitting in bed and heard a lot of by Sayas Teal, just a lot of, oh, my friend lives there, my friend Echo.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say at any point during that conversation you could have popped in and, you know, there was food, there were plates set at the table too, so and Melly was at the table as well. So it wouldn't have been weird if you popped in and joined in.
Okay. Yeah, I think during that conversation Echo would have sat down probably next to Melly and just patted her on the back as he did it, and then as respectfully as possible and quietly as possible started eating some food and eavesdropping on the conversation happening 5 feet away. So the question was, has Echo heard of him? That was...
Yeah, of an elf that maybe any of these facts might have clicked.
Okay, I would assume the answer to that question is no, unless you want me to roll for that, just to see if there's a chance.
For this one,
realistically,
no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
A lot of elves in Sayas Teal, and for the most part, Echo kept to himself. He was focusing. He was having him time.
Echo was doing Echo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would respond.
I'm afraid not, my friend. I didn't do much socializing, and any learning I was doing was mostly about existence. So I'm afraid I don't have much information for you.
I don't think I expected any. I just figured maybe. Well. Mother, would you like me to give him a message? If we do find him.
Let him know his sister still cares for him.
Of course. Is there anything else I should know?
Nothing else that comes to mind. The other thing you should know is you really should get your father those pickles.
Mm-hmm. Is it getting to be about the time that the market might open?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to head to market to do that. If three of you want to join me, obviously you're welcome. But I don't think you should feel like you have to.
I think a walk would do me some good.
I glance over at Melly to see what she's gonna do before I answer.
So, how am I feeling at this point? Am I feeling significantly better?
Aside from the fact that you didn't get a lot of sleep, you feel fine.
Okay. I think that a walk might do me good, so I'll come along with you. I'm sure the air outside will be nice.
Vale smiles. Yes, I think if you're up to it, that would be nice. How about you, Mac?
I'll come along.
All right. Yeah, so if it seems like everybody's kind of done with their breakfast, I think Val would just help put it away and then get ready to go get some pickles.
Okay. Yeah. So is it, unless there's anything else anyone wanted to do before you left, say everything's cleaned up, get your bags packed, and
The bag.
yeah.
Everything in the one bag.
Now, once the four of us were alone where his mom wasn't in earshot, I would turn to Vale and are we really going to get pickles right now with everything that's going on?
Do you have a good reason why not?
Because it's gonna waste time.
Do you... Well, we don't have access to the circle yet, do we?
Why wouldn't we? Are we was waiting here for your brother to show up?
At the very least, that was the impression Jake was under. Yeah, I figured yes. We don't have access to it without him.
Okay. And I'm visibly annoyed. And I guess we continue hacking our
As
things.
you say, it's like Val goes and gets his pickles. It's like, I'm not sure what else to say about that.
Yeah, so you pack your bag. Mac is annoyed, and you make your way out to the market. As you walk past, walking through town, there's these kind of it's really cool. If you've never seen it before, it is a very interesting place. Because like dwarven and elven architecture and design are like both of them are beautiful and both of them are really well crafted, but they're two totally different styles. So seeing the two kind of mesh together and form one like place and one culture, it's kind of an amazing thing. And as you kind of just continue through, and just if any of you take the time to do it, just admiring the scenery and architecture and everything, you do make it to this kind of like busier part of town. It's almost kind of like a big. If you've ever been to a farmer's market in like a city where they shut down like a couple of blocks for it and there's just all these vendors like all over the place, it's kind of like that, but you also you hear the sounds of like a hammer on an anvil and all sorts of like metalworking being done and all kinds of things. Like there's a lot of business going on here. It's town hub.
Do we need any supplies while we're out? Is there a tanner around? Actually?
Yeah, there would definitely be one.
I don't think I have enough on my own, but I was curious about getting some new armor.
Little jealous of your brother?
Vale just kind of like rolls his eyes over a little bit and says, whether I'm jealous of him or not, he does have better armor than I do. But I have a better bow.
Can't hurt to look.
Do they have shops in Baestiel?
They do. I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's not a huge place, but there's a little something for everyone, I suppose.
I know that it might not be as big, but maybe we should get the pickles and go back. I just don't want your brother to be waiting for us for very long. And I do think it's a great idea. But maybe we can check the shops on our next stop.
That's fine with me too.
Well said.
Alright, so Vale's just looking for the pickles then. The pickle
Okay.
vendor. Ye old.
Yeah, as you start kind of looking through, make an investigation check with advantage.
Yeah, advantage. I like the advantage. Alright. Okay. That's 12. Alright, so the high one is a 5. And plus 3, so that's an 8.
Okay. All right. So it takes like a lot longer than you thought it would.
Yeah, I'm all turned around. Like, I had
But
been here a
like
while.
like you start walking around and every time you think you're going the right way, you end up near like the leatherworking section.
It's totally by accident too.
And like you kind of get looks from the group and you're like wrong way, whatever. And you do make it to an area where like it seems like there are a lot of food vendors, and as you start walking around in there, you see someone with like a little cart, and you hear pinto beans, the biggest ones, the biggest that you can afford.
Echo, you like pinto beans, don't you?
Not a fan.
No.
I think they're overplayed.
I always thought you appreciated them.
Pinto, pinto.
Yes, that's very catchy.
The guy is he's just constantly like shouting about the biggest pinto beans. And a couple spots down from him, you do see a guy with who's got some nice like shelving set up and like plenty of different pickles in the area.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Val would approach, which is a single person that's running it.
Mhm.
Excuse me, do you have any? And I don't know if you told me the type of pickles that it is, but Val just mentions that name.
Yeah. You'll see a small like dwarven man, the big bushy like red beard, kind of turn and look at you, and he'll just say, "Oh, you're looking for my pepper pickles. There's only one person in town who usually eats those. But sure, yes, I have plenty in stock. A jar just goes for a silver piece."
I'll take 3.
Of course, of course.
And does Val know of any other little thing that either his mother and or father would enjoy?
Do
Do they like pinto
they're like
beans?
They might.
Yeah.
Sure, they like pinto beans. They like jams and like jellies and that kind of stuff because they like, because they're a big fan of like the wine and cheese. So like anything that you would put on like anything that you would put with like a wine and cheese type thing, they'd be into. And they also like beans.
Yeah. So Vale's gonna get 3 jars of the pickles, and
Okay.
then just something that might resemble a nice care package for them between some meats, cheeses.
Okay.
You know.
So we'll say probably like a gold piece total. Maybe
Okay.
two gold pieces if you're trying to get like real fancy with it and like a really nice package.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay.
And he will spend that.
Sure. Yeah. So as you're walking around, grabbing all your things, you just keep hearing the guy just keep shouting, "Pinto beans, the biggest ones,
I kind
the
of need to
biggest
see
you
that.
can afford."
I just it'll just be a moment. Val comes over to the pinto bean vendor.
Yes,
All
how
right,
can
I
I
need to
help
see
you
the-
today?
I need to see these pinto beans. You say they're
Which
the biggest
pinto
ones?
beans? The biggest you can afford.
Is there anything else to them? They're just large beans.
They're very big pinto beans.
All right. There's an awkward silence. Val's like, are they on display? Is this man's beans on display, Josh?
he'll just I mean he has like trays kind of like filled with them, and some of them are like kind of large, some of them are really like normal sized. And he'll just say, "How big can you afford?" And he kind of like looks at you like seriously.
I can't imagine beans ever being that expensive on their own. I mean, I can afford some beans, but he's like, he doesn't know what to say right now. He just points to one that seems like it has a bigger beans.
No, he's like, he'll just say, "These are just my normal beans. How much can you afford?"
I can afford all of the beans. He says.
he's trying to ask like how much money, how
Oh, but-
how much
but Bill
money
just
you
wants
have
to see one.
and
That's all.
are like willing to. He is only going to show you a bean if you name a price. Is essentially the vibe you're getting right now.
He takes out a silver piece. He goes, How much would this buy me?"
He's just kind of like, and kind of shakes his head a little bit, and he says, "This is all you can afford." And he grabs a pinto bean that's like this big, which is pretty big for a pinto bean, but like,
Mm-hmm. Vale takes out a Malaeus Mir coin.
he kind of snatches it out of your hand and just like looks at it, like,
Have you ever seen one of those?
"I've seen a couple of these, but not very much."
How much of a bean would that buy me?
Hold on right here one moment. And he kind of like, you see his little like his setup. There's a cloth, and he kind of goes behind the cloth behind it, and you hear just like stuff being moved around, and he comes out with like he comes out like wheeling something past
Oh my
the
god.
past the tarp, like the curtain, and it's a pinto bean that's like this big, like it's massive. um and
Does it
he
come
just
with
kind
the
of wheels it
cart?
out, and he's like, "Eh, the biggest that you can afford."
This is so wildly impractical, and Vale still wants to do it. Oh, does it look like even something we could like carry?
Probably fit in the bag of holding.
Yeah, like would
So
it be big enough? It
It
would.
it could fit in the bag of holding.
Okay, so it wouldn't rip the opening.
It wouldn't rip the opening.
Okay.
He's also leaving it on the cart, and he kind of like pushes it in front of you and drops it, and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah, Vale's like, Melly, do you have your bag?
Do, but I'm curious to see if he has any that are larger than that.
Get 2 coins.
He takes out another one.
No, I let go 5.
Vale has like the biggest smile on his face that you've seen maybe since you have met him, and he takes out 5 of the coins.
And
You
he's
have
just
even bigger.
you see him just kind of hold on one moment,
Oh my
and
god!
he just he
This ain't
goes
fitting
in the back.
bag.
And it's the same type thing where you just like you hear stuff just moving around, getting pushed around all over the place, and he comes out. He comes out with just this. He's pulling it's a like a pallet jack,
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my god!
and he's got a pinto bean in there that's about 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide.
Oh my god!
And he's just like really struggling to get this thing out, and he just drops it in front, and he's like, "Hey, the biggest that you can afford."
Vale is like, does this even look like it fits in the back room of this tent? Like, what?
It's massive. It's like you gotta wonder where he's keeping all these beans, but
Yeah. How do you? What?
I don't know if that one would fit in the bag of holding.
No, I suppose not.
I don't even really like pinto beans.
But Echo, don't you know they're packed with protein?
he'll say to you,
Yes.
"If you boil a pile of beans, yes, a pinto beans, you'll find that it will be go so good to eat. It's got protein."
Well, I don't think we could bring this one even home.
Well, the smaller, well, it's still quite large, but the other one we could certainly take. I'm sure that'll last a while. Pretty wholesome meal at very low cost.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
But what do we do with this? I'm afraid to try to take our money back for this one.
No, we should give him his. Yes, you're right. But yeah, Josh, does this look like we could fit this? The second one probably won't fit in the bag, will it?
It's not gonna fit in the bag. No.
Yeah. I don't even.
You get the feeling that you'd probably insult him if you left it there, though.
Yeah. Does it come with the cart?
He gives you a nod. He's like, yes, of course.
Hal just goes, oh, well, here you are. We'll take the big one. We'll take them both, I suppose.
Maybe there's a charity within 20 feet of this building.
20 feet. So yeah, Val gives him 6 of those coins to pay for the beans. Still has a few. Is there a local charity within?
I mean, you could ask for sure. You definitely.
I asked. Yeah, is there anything? Do you know of anyone that could really use this in particular? Is there a charity nearby?
You're asking the pinto bean guy?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, hey, what's the matter? You not like?
it's just very large, my friend. But I think I want to save the smaller one.
He'll let's see.
Yeah.
One moment. Hey, you can take it to the temple for Ayun.
Oh,
Yes, let's do that.
a temple? A temple to Ayun here in this city.
Do I know where it is?
Yeah, you would know where it is.
I think
Probably,
I
I mean,
know
it's-
it. I think I know where that is. You know, just like I know where the market is. Anyways. Well, thank you very much for these beans, friend. Those are special coins.
He's come again.
I think maybe we might. Okay, thank you. And so he starts like trying to wheel the cart in the direction of where he thinks the temple is.
Okay.
Before we take off,
low key.
let's get the other bean into the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Echo
Sure.
will help
Yeah,
however he can, but I think a matter of weight and size ratios will not much allow.
Oh, trying to...
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just you pick up the help pull the thing, not get it in the bag of holding.
The
Right.
smaller one in the bag of holding.
Yeah, the smaller one in the bag of holding, you just kind of like you put the bag over it, and it just kind of disappears as the bag continues to go over. You know.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Like Hermione's handbag.
Yes, exactly.
And then, yeah,
Um,
Bale's just trying to push this wheelbarrow. He's probably like, hey, can somebody tell me where is it? Am I heading straight? Actually, he has
Yeah.
Isla perched on top of the beam so he can see in front of him. There it is.
As you start like kind of pushing by and moving the giant bean, there seems to be like a little bit of commotion like going around, like a lot of people like talking to each other and just kind of making noise, like something is bothering people, and there's a lot of movement and whatnot.
Are we too far away to see or know what's going on?
It's like it's not, it doesn't look like there's a specific event or anything like happening. It's just that like some people heard like there's some sort of news that they're kind of like spreading amongst themselves, and some of the more talkative people are just kind of complaining and whatever. So if you tried to listen in, you could. If you wanted to ask someone, you could do that as well.
People complaining that there's 4 humanoids pushing a giant bean down the road.
It doesn't seem to, for whatever reason, they're not really that off-put by you guys pushing a giant bean down the road. There's no one's really paying you guys much attention to you guys.
Yeah, I think Val would just absentmindedly ask someone nearby, like, what's going on?
So I think Guy will just kind of turn to you and just be like, "You haven't heard?
No.
The Kryn dynasty came to town. Don't know what those bastards want from us. We don't want any part in their war.
Like, officially? Or in some
Like-
other nefarious means?
Look, they got a representative at the capital
Oh,
trying to make demands of Queen Fronast.
did they just get to town?
Aye. Only been here about a day. Maybe
Oh
2.
dear.
As far as I know. I mean, I just hear the stories from down the street. I'm not actually plugged in to the capital.
Do you know any particulars?
I just hear the gobshite that comes down the pipeline. If I had to guess, I'd say they're probably trying to drag us into their war with the Dwindlian Empire.
I've been out of it for a little while. I suppose it's not... Is it not going well for them?
It's none of my business how it's going for them, and it's none of our business how it goes. It's their problem, and they need to figure it out themselves.
Well, yes. I understand. Well, thank you. Thank you. And he just kind of absentmindedly turns away. Did you all hear that? I would... If not, Vale would just fill him in.
So the Kryn dynasty are here.
Apparently.
What does this mean for us?
Vale just looks at Mac.
Depends on who's here. I mean, it probably doesn't mean that much for us. Unless Uthadern is helping the Kryn, which then may end up helping us with the Empire, but just in keeping their hands a little more full. But you would know more if whether or not Uthadern would be willing to get involved.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but that would be very out of character for Uthadern.
Adern is very isolationist, and
yeah.
they kind of do their own thing.
It would have to be a very strong argument on their part. It's hard to imagine why they would. We tend to like our safety here in the mountain.
Either way, I think this is probably just one more thing to push us along faster to get out of here. I know we've been focused on the Empire, but any great power or group of people may be after this. So, if we can speed this along, I think that would be for the best.
How far away is the temple?
Probably like a mile, if that.
I think Echo would look for a strong man nearby.
Giggity.
Just like a big, strong man.
Sorry.
Man. I need a hero.
Just a big oiled up man.
Make an investigation check.
Or lady.
A very large person.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, you find a very, very strong looking person. There's actually a group of dwarves that are just like standing outside of a building, just lifting up rocks and going like and dropping them on the ground
perfect.
and like
All right, I'll turn to Vale and just say, hold on 1 second. And go over to the big man, and he'll pull out two gold. It's probably more than it's worth, but that's okay. He'll pull
Good.
out 2 gold, and he'll say,
Oh, you're all quite strong. And you're doing very good at lifting those things that you're lifting. I bet 2 gold that you can't get that bean up to the Temple of Ioun very fast.
could do that in my sleep. You might as well pay me the 2 gold right now for it.
Oh, big talk.
and I give him the 2 gold.
I'm so confident that you'll have to walk that gold back to me and that'll be embarrassing or something. And here's the gold. Haha, I bet you can't do it.
He just doesn't even. He takes the gold, doesn't even look at you, and straps the like there was a. Well, you know, like they were kind of like tied down, right, onto this pallet, and to both of the big like ropes that are around it, he attaches another rope and puts it over his shoulder, and he's like, lightweight, and he just like he's just dragging it through the city, going like as fast as he can.
Okay, well,
I think that's good.
I would have felt quite bad leaving this just in the middle of the city. But, well, now what? Do we go try to find Carrick and see what we can do to get out of here? Do we stop at the Temple of Ioun to see if maybe they can contact Master Dinoa? Or do we...
I'm going to give my father his pickles, I think. That's where my brother said he would meet us, but if you want to maybe contact your temple, I think that's just fine.
I just don't want to waste anyone's time. I know we're a bit stretched thin right now.
I don't have a problem with it. Vale looks at Mac.
I just kind of nod.
Well, if you like, I'm fast. I can run there quickly. I can make it back to the house.
Would you like company? I could send Isla with you, or...
If you think that's best. I just want to make sure everyone will be ready to go. Yes, you in the back. Melly, I think? I think that was your name.
Why don't you take a sending stone with you?
Right. I do forget that we have those. That's only once per day, right?
Yes. 25 words, similar to how Vale's message work.
Right.
And speaking, Vale, how far away can you contact someone?
My range is only 120 feet.
So, I don't know, maybe every few blocks you could send a message to your brother, and then whenever we're in touch with him, maybe we could just meet him at the place where the circle is, and then we can tell Echo where to go, only if your brother isn't already at the house. Does
I suppose I guess I could send the pickles with Isla. Just want
Well-
to replace the pickles, and then I'm fine.
no. I definitely think we should do that, but we don't know if your brother is at the house yet. But if he's not, then we meet him at the place where the circle is. He takes the pickles, brings them to your parents after we use the circle, and Echoes come back with us.
Sure, it's a shot in the dark, but it's worth firing.
Okay, so here, Echo, you take this.
Thank you.
And if you don't hear from us, go to Vale's parents.
Will do.
So yeah, Vale just takes out his copper wire and kind of somewhere in the direction of his parents' house, and it's like, Carrick, are you around? Trying to find Carrick, not expecting it to work, but
120 feet is the range?
yeah.
Yeah, you know you're more than 120 feet away from your parents' house.
Just in case he's not there yet. Anyways,
Yeah,
so
you don't get it. Just
Yeah.
kind of your copper wire, just kind of like,
Yeah.
just kind of disappears.
no luck yet.
Okay, if it's a dumb idea, you can just say so.
I don't think so. I just think no luck yet. You never know.
Okay.
And Vale starts changing the message to, Carrick, turn around. Instead of, are you there? Like every couple blocks to see if it works.
So you're walking like closer and closer towards your
Towards my
family's
parents'
home.
house. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mac has his hood up now, by the way. As we were like finished the thing with the Pinto, he puts his hood up
Mhm.
to his cloak where it was not before.
After kind of like a while of this, you get a huh?
He goes, oh, that one worked.
Why do I need to turn around? I don't see anything in my immediate direction. Brother, is that you? I've been looking all over for you. Where?
And then it cuts out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, I cast the spell again. He just says, I'm just having some fun with you. Can we meet at the teleportation circle?
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Where are you?
Well, Vale knows the direction of where he is because that's the kind of way he has to go. So he's walking. He just says, I'm coming from the market. I'm not far. He casts Mage Hand 25 feet above and he starts waving in the direction. Follow the Mage Hand.
Oh, that's a sling blade.
There it is.
Yeah. So he sees the mage hand and then follows it down to you. And Carrick will approach you all and just walk up to you and say, I was looking for you. I went to the house and I didn't see you there. mother said you might be at the market, but I'm glad you found me.
Yes, we broke a jar of father's pickles, so he just shows the bag.
Ah, yes. Well, we've all been there.
But I think we were hoping to maybe leave, actually, and if you'd be so kind as to deliver this for us.
I would be happy to
He
deliver
smiled.
it for you, but I don't know if you've heard yet, but the Kryn dynasty has come to town. They are trying to petition governments to aid them in their war effort.
I thought I heard something of the sort, but
as a measure of, well, out of an abundance of caution, they have disconnected, so to speak, all of the circles in town. They're putting the city on a lockdown. I will do my best to get you out of here. I've already told my commanding officer, who owes me, by the way, that I need use of one of the circles, but it goes above him, unfortunately. But we'll get you out of here, brother.
Bill just kind of squints and cocks his head to the side and is like, that is abundantly cautious. What else did you have in mind?
Well, I go through the proper channels, of course, and this is outrageous. For them to be blocking travel in this way. I think there's something more that I'm not being told, but I do have another contact, and I'm going to find out what I can. And as soon as I have more information, I will let you know.
I understand that this is not even close to usual, but we did come here because you said you could get us out.
And I will get you out. I'm just not sure when.
Are the gates to the city on lockdown also?
Gates to the city are closed for the time being.
Carrick.
I think I may be able to get them opened for a mission with the glass blades, but being that I just came back from one, they might not want to send me out immediately after. But like I said, I'm coming to you first. I just had this conversation. I thought it would be unfair for me to leave you hanging and wondering. So you're the
Right.
first person I've spoken to. This is the beginning, but we will make this right.
Vale's eyes linger at him a little longer, maybe, than would have been natural. Do I feel like he's being forthright with me?
Yeah, he actually. I mean, well, yeah. No, you do feel like he is being completely upfront with you, and he feels, especially just because, like, you know how he is. Like, he's a man of his word.
Yeah.
And when he tells you he's going to do something, if he can't deliver on that, like, that's a
That's why
huge
Val said
deal.
it that way too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, brother. What would you have us do?
for now, the father's pickles, and I'll let you know as soon as I have something else for you.
All right, and where will you be headed?
Right now I'm going back to I'm right now I'm going to Teddy. We do have an obligation to write our reports and send word back, especially now with talk of war. The information about the Dwendalian Empire will be well, it might be information that they need. Brother, if you share your side of the story, information like that they might be willing to pay for, so to speak.
I already told you that we found them inside the ruins, and I can only surmise that they were after something very powerful, that they had some form of lead.
All you know. There's nothing more you're hiding from me.
Brother, there's always things I hide from you.
Nothing
as much
important.
as I love you, you have to trust me right now. I know that's uncomfortable for you, and I know you have every reason to think that I'm irresponsible.
Because you are irresponsible.
That may be true, but I'm also right.
Well, all right. I'll go make my report, and I'll include the information from my brother on there.
I understand.
Make a... He's gonna make... Wow. Alright. There's another natural 20. He made he made an insight check on you with your I understand, and what he is trying to get at is he'll probably just straight up ask you, just if I put you and your names in these papers, am I putting you in danger?
I think that is a possibility. And I know we've had our differences in the past. But you're a good man. And I know that the position this puts you in. But if you could not leave a paper trail for me, that would be very good for us. This is not about some kind of childish whim to find my own path. This is not about anything other than what's actually bigger than Uthadern itself. I wish I could tell you more.
And it looks at the ground. Like you could tell his mind is going a mile a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And make a persuasion check with advantage.
Thanks. Natural 20. It's a 21. but
Nice. He'll looks at you and he'll just say, I will tell them everything that happened, and I will tell them your story, but I will leave out who it came from.
if you are absolutely pressed and you have to give a name, only give mine.
Okay. But I do need to go now to speak to Teddy and make sure that he does the same, which you won't have to worry about that. You won't have to worry about that. He's fine.
Vale puts his arm on his shoulder, and he just hits square in the eye and just says, "Brother, thank you."
I'm trusting you, Valenthinius. Don't get
Vale
me
just-
involved with any trouble or nonsense.
No. Vale looks at Millie and says, "Do you have the other stone?" He holds out his hand. He gives it to him and he just says, "Hold on to this. This is a way that I could potentially contact you if the need should arise, and you could contact me. It works just like the spell I was having fun with you with a moment ago."
Okay. We will be in contact.
And if Echo contacts you right now, just tell him to meet up with us at our parents' house.
Who is the other small one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Be safe, brother. So
You too.
weird times.
That much is true.
And he'll kind of hurry off, and we'll pick up from there next week.
Oh man. Oh man.
Michael was there were gears were turning during
Oh, my
that
word, were they?
conversation.
Yes.
As was the dagger in his hand.
Let's just say I was this close to messaging you and saying I'm coating my dagger in poison right now.
Oh, no. Oh man. Yikes.
Yoink, Scoob.
yeah.
And, well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's always a fun time, and always good to see you. I hope that you did some clips this time. I feel like we had some clippable moments. So, but yeah, stay tuned throughout the week as we have all sorts of fun stuff going on with J&J Tabletop. If this is your first time here and you want to catch up on past episodes, go to Spotify, Rare Drop Roleplay. They'll have our show and also Reckoning Hour, which is the Tuesday game hosted by Captain Robert. And then if you would like to catch up on us and just see what kind of stuff we have going on, then go to youtube.com/JNJ Tabletop. And you could also find all the things just by doing !JNJ in chat. So I think that's all for tonight, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We love you. Be kind to each other. Be safe. See you in the next one.